How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to have a serious conversation with you guys, one-on-one. For anybody that's actively listening. What I mean by actively is like trying to get reach to a high level. And I want to talk to you guys about my experience so far. And so for me personally, I struggle a lot in this category. Even though I've been listening for years already, it's still very hard to grasp because one, I have been very consistent, but I also have not been very consistent, if that makes sense. I've been consistent and also inconsistent at the same time. But it's also very hard to grasp how far or how much you're improving in a given day, a given month, or a year. I mean, sure, you can track your hours to see how many hours a day you're putting in, how many active listening hours, passive listening hours. But even then, it's still very hard to fully grasp it. And sometimes you could even be improving a lot and you just don't even know it. That's kind of a part, kind of the part about acquiring the language, is that you're comprehending sound and text without even knowing it. But for anybody that's struggling in listening like I am, you're not alone. A lot of people are struggling listening in Japanese or any other language, whether it's Chinese, Spanish, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's very important to set up short-term goals, so that way you know how much you're improving, and so that way you are aware that you are improving. If not, you're just gonna have negative thoughts in your head. You're going to start doubting yourself. You're going to start saying, oh, I don't think I'm improving. I don't think, Japanese is for me. I don't think Chinese is for me. Spanish, English. But listen, it's very hard. It can be very repetitive, but you just have to stick with it. Stick with it. Build some good habits. Build some short-term and long-term goals, and you will improve. But what else did I want to talk about? I wish... One of my regrets, and I'm gonna share you one of my regrets so far. I wish I've done a lot of listening beforehand and just waited to do some reading. Seriously, do some reading like 2 or 3 years after. But I don't know. It's just I can't be too hard on myself, because reading was my goal at first, but now listening is my main goal. It's not because I got good at reading I want to do listening. The reason why listening is my number one priority is because, one, it's very hard. 2, I want to get really good at my pronunciation, my accent, and like my pitch accent, because I'm trying to do pitch accent again. But listening, you kind of have to do listening a little bit more before you can do pitch accent, so that way you can understand the sounds and all that stuff. And that's my goal. But it's a lot. It is very lot. I know a lot of people that are documenting themselves learning Japanese. I mean, sure, I'm pretty sure there's some that talks about the hardships, but a lot of them talks about their successes and how much they've improved. But for me, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. It is for me, it's been difficult. But I haven't given up on it. There's times I do want to give up or just take a break for the day. I was like, oh, I don't want to do some listening. But if I don't do active listening, I would at least do some passive listening. And that's another point I wanted to talk to you guys. If you guys are active listening and you guys are getting burned out, at least try to do some passive listening. Do not underestimate passive listening. Active listening is very important too, don't get me wrong. But passive listening is also really, really important. Especially if you guys are working, doing chores around the house, or you got people to take care of, chores to do, errands to run. Passive listening, even for just a few seconds, like 30 seconds, while you're going for a walk or going somewhere, it builds up a lot. So please don't underestimate passive listening. It does add up. You'll be very surprised. Another thing I do want to talk about is reading. I haven't done any reading at all. ever since I've been seriously trying to hone my listening skills. So I would say it's been close to a year, if not it's getting to that 1 year mark. So I will eventually go back to reading again, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does plummet a lot into oblivion, but I'm okay with that. I am okay with not being that good into reading. For me personally, it's very easy to pick up. Reading is very easy to pick up, and I'm content with that. I'm not gonna be myself, and saying oh my god, I gotta do reading again. I was very hardcore in the beginning, but I'm just at the point where I'm starting to wear down a little bit. Not burnt out, but just like wearing down a little bit. So yeah, reading, it's probably pretty bad now. My listening, I would say it's definitely not beginner, and it's definitely not like high level. I would say it's like intermediate to slightly higher intermediate. But I would just say intermediate just to make things simple. But in the beginning, it's gonna be very hard. It will be very hard. You will be very, very frustrated, and you feel like you can't do it, and you're just gonna wish you're just gonna stop listening and go back to reading again, because it's very comfortable. It's very easy. You can take your time with it, but just don't give up. Don't give up. It was very hard for me. It's very hard for everybody. It's always gonna be hard, actually, no matter what you do. Whether you're really good at reading, you are gonna struggle with listening a lot. So don't give up. I'm telling you, don't give up. Just take it one step at a time. If you don't have time to, sit down and watch some anime or your favorite drama, that is okay. Don't be yourself. You're gonna fail a lot. You're gonna fall a lot. But you have to eventually get up. You have to get back up. Okay? Like me. We're all struggling together. But hopefully for everybody that's watching this, you are not alone. Slow and steady, and we'll get there together. So just don't beat yourself up. It's not a race. Please remember, it's not a race. I know a lot of people. I stopped going on the Learn Japanese subreddit. Not because I get demotivated reading people's successes. It's not anywhere near because of that. I just procrastinate a lot when I go up on that subreddit. But for people who are getting demotivated because you guys are reading, oh, I reached fluency at 18 months. Or there's that one famous Reddit post where somebody was reading 50 light novels, and I congratulate them. That's terrific. But just don't spend too much time on people's successes and being hard on yourself, because how come I'm not fluent in 18 months? How come I'm not fluent on reading 50 light novels? It's okay. There's a lot of people that are struggling as well, and I'm one of them. And for everybody that's watching that tried to get into listening over and over again, but you just couldn't do it because it's too difficult, just don't neglect it. The sooner you do it, the better it gets. Don't neglect it, especially if it's one of your goals to watch Japanese. But for some people, for some of the minorities that just want to read light novels, visual novels, manga, etc. If only reading is the only thing you want to do, then go for it. Then you don't have to worry about listening. But for a lot of people that do want to get good at listening, don't neglect it. I know there's strengths and weaknesses. Some people are mostly in tune to listening. Some people are mostly comfortable with reading. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Just put in the hours in. Don't make it a hassle. Have fun. Please have fun. Okay? And don't be hard on yourself. And remember to just, like I said, have fun while doing it. Trust the process. So please let me know how far you guys are in listening. What part of listening you guys are struggling in. How far you are. What are you watching? What are you listening to? Let me know what anime are you guys watching or drama for listening practice. I would love to hear you guys in the comments below. So don't give up. I'll see you guys again very, very soon.